average screen time for people ages between 16 and 18 globally is around 6 to 8 hours. Now, in 1 week, that's 49 hours. 1 month, 217. Now, in 1 year, that's 2,604 hours. If you were to live the average life of a Japanese person, being around 80 years, you would have spent 29.7, nearly 30% of your life staring at a screen. Now, the red people here represent each year that you would be spending on your screen. Taking into account that people sleep for around 1/3 of their life, 8 hours a day, you would be down to 29 years. Those 80 years have gone down to 29 years, and that really shocked me. But what actually are some effects of screen time? Well, firstly, it can lead to irregular sleep. Staring at a screen before sleeping actually stimulates your brain, and therefore making you sleep less and fatigue on the next day. And this may lead to poor academic performance for students the next day, or if you're an adult, making it harder for you to focus or to actually function at your job. Now, this is something I've noticed myself. When studying for a test the night just before sleeping the night before, I realized I would perform much worse than on a day where I'd studied around midday, around after lunch for the test the next day. And since being in high school, I've always felt that my stress would often come from the increased workload, the clubs, the social events, sports, but I realized that screen time actually played a large role in this. Rather than reading a book like I had every night before sleeping, back in elementary or middle school, I would now be either doing homework on my computer or rather just randomly doing something on my phone, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, whatever that may be for you. And so I realized that I wanted to change this. So I decided to put screen time regulations on myself. This is what week 1 looked like. Still below the 6 to 8 hours range, 4 hours and a half. Week 2 was down to 3 hours and 16 minutes, which was a good decrease. Now, week 3 was around the same as week 2. And this made me think what I was doing wrong. Was this the least amount of time I could spend on my screen, or was there something else to this? So I specifically looked at certain days during the week, and I realized that I would actually spend the majority of my time past 6 o'clock. And therefore, in order to try to reduce this amount of time I spent during the evening, I would either turn off my phone before sleeping, when I got to bed, or leave my phone downstairs. And this did have an impact, as week 4 was down to 2 hours and 40 minutes with a 29% decrease. Now from 4 hours and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 40 minutes in 4 weeks was something I was quite proud of. And the outcome was actually quite surprising. I realized that I felt much less stressed. I realized I was better able to meet my deadlines on time, and overall just felt better about myself. Now, my recommendation and my conclusion for this talk is for all of you in the audience today to go look at your own screen time and see what you can do and see what adjustments you can make to your own life to try to better your life as a whole. Thank you.